Someone who's tried to train solo or make their health and fitness journey work on their own, and only to have it fall off, whether that's weeks, months, or years down the line, make up the majority of people who come to see us. It is very rare that someone who has just decided to make a change in their health and fitness will reach out to us and ask for some guidance. Instead, the common pattern is look for a plan on ChatGPT or Google, get themselves a gym membership, and then head down and try and make it work on their own. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you can make it work solo, it is the best outcome. But as I say, the majority of people who come to us don't make it work. This video is going to go through why. The reasons behind why training solo and not having it stick are unfortunately many. For some, it's they're relying on motivation. And motivation is a fleeting feeling. So once that disappears, typically so does their training. For some, it's a knowledge problem. Yes, they've got their ChatGPT training plan, but if they're not entirely sure how to modify movements when they're in the gym and certain things are busy, if they're not entirely sure how to progress that plan down the line to keep seeing results, eventually they're going to plateau and things will start falling away. For others, it is very specific to their lifestyle. It might be their work schedule that makes it very difficult to fit in the amount of sessions they want to do. It could be traveling, it could be family. Even for some, it is access to a gym on a regular basis. It is never one thing that stops someone being able to reach their goals by training alone. More often than not, it's a combination of different things that they themselves don't really know. At Thrive Fit, we tend to talk a lot about being active versus training with intent. And solo training can sit anywhere within that spectrum. For someone who's active, more often than not, it is just a case of they are doing something that feels like it should be beneficial. That could be running, just because running's easy access. It could be doing a class because at least they're getting someone telling them what to do. Training with intent is having a specific plan in place. It is knowing the progressions for each exercise, it's knowing why things are being progressed, and it's being very clear on what the plan is. For someone who's training solo, they can sit anywhere on that spectrum. The ones that are going to succeed training solo sit on this intention side. They know what they're going to be doing, they know how it's progressing, and should they really need to, they can make changes as they go. If someone is training solo but they're just being active, more often than not, they're going to fall off at some point. And that's typically going to be because they are going to plateau. Activity for the sake of it very rarely leads to the results that we start training for. I mentioned earlier about people going in to a gym with a ChatGPT plan. They've got something to follow. Why is that not solving their problem? And honestly, it's because more often than not, knowledge isn't the only thing you need. People think that they will get better results once they know the specifics around why we're doing a squat versus a leg press, why we specifically focus specific protein sources over others. But more often than not, it isn't the knowledge that's missing. It's having that clear reason to turn up and do it. And that often comes in the form of accountability. Now, accountability is one of those common fitness buzzwords that gets thrown about. But what does that look like day to day versus someone who's trying to train on their own? Well, a lot of our clients will tell us it's because I've got a meeting booked in my diary where I know that if I don't show, I'm not just letting myself down, but also I'm wasting my trainer's time. It's knowing that they have paid an amount of money for a service, and if they are not going to show, then they are wasting that money. It is knowing that when they turn up to their session, they're going to get questions about how their nutrition's been going, whether they've done their extra sessions, whether they've got the steps in that we've set as a target. When someone's training solo, they don't necessarily have any of these. Yes, we can put our session in the diary and make it like a meeting. But if it's just us that know that meeting's been set, it can be easy just to be, okay, we're not going today. Let's move the meeting. If you're just training solo and you've got a membership at any of the regular commercial gyms, sometimes wasting the membership that you're paying doesn't feel as painful as doing the workout because it's not actually that much money. And sometimes it's really easy to justify not hitting the nutrition goals, not getting the steps in, not doing the extra sessions when it is just yourself that you're answering to. So for us, accountability is about having that coach who is going to make sure you do the things that you say you want to do to get the goals that you say you want. So whether it's the motivation issue or the knowledge issue, accountability tends to solve that. Being accountable to a coach can solve that. But what about those who are not staying on top of it because of more specific lifestyle circumstances? Maybe it's because they're traveling. Maybe it's because family life is very busy. Maybe it's because they don't have regular access to the gym. Again, it comes down to the coaching element. If someone doesn't have the knowledge to be able to go into a hotel gym and identify what movements are similar to what they would have been doing in a regular gym with all the machines, if they don't have the motivation to get into that gym because of feeling tired after travel, because of a long day of meetings, or if someone simply doesn't know how to take a gym plan and turn it into a bodyweight workout when they don't get access to the gym that they normally go to, more often than not, the easiest decision is to not do anything. And for people who come to us, all they seem to do through the day is have to make decisions. So if they're left having to make one more decision, they will pick the easiest route. And the easiest route is to not do anything, because choosing to do something leads to more decisions. However, if you're working with a coach, they do the decision making for you. They tell you what a hotel gym variation of your workout can look like. They show you how to do bodyweight exercises at home, even if you have zero equipment to work off. They are there sending the message, checking in to see if you did your workout when you got to the hotel like you said you would. Tying this all up with clients who have come through our doors and ended up signing up and working with us is that accountability factor. And is not necessarily something they didn't know. Most come and tell us that the thing they are missing is someone there to tell them what to do. They no longer want that decision on their own shoulders. They want to hand that off to someone. And they are aware of this. And that is why we provide it. All of the decision making we take for ourselves. So they can walk through the door at the session time that they've booked, knowing that when they do so, everything's set up for them. The plan is ready to go. The progressions have already been scheduled in. They're going to get asked about their nutrition. They're going to get adaptations to their nutrition plan should they need them. It isn't something that people don't know. It's just for too long, they'll try and create it for themselves and find themselves struggling to do so. Now, this isn't to say solo training can't work. It absolutely can. But more often than not, it works for the person that has everything that I've mentioned most people miss. They know that they don't have to rely on motivation. They can stay accountable to themselves because they have built up the discipline to do so. Or they just identify someone who is disciplined in this area. More often than not, they have the knowledge to make those changes on the fly, because having those decisions, again, made in advance makes it so much easier to stick to it. And the other thing is, typically they enjoy it. Most people who come to us do not enjoy lifting weights. They know it is a necessary evil in order to hit their goals. For those that love doing it, it doesn't become a chore. It doesn't require discipline because they're going to do something they enjoy. And that is one of the biggest factors in people who train solo all the time to be able to do so. If you're here, you're training solo at the moment and you do want to make that work for yourself, the one thing that I would suggest you do is try and find some form of enjoyment within whatever it is you're doing. If you are currently running and you hate it, stop. Find an alternative. If you're currently lifting weights and you find yourself bored, don't necessarily stop lifting weights, but find a way that you can structure it that you're going to enjoy. If you are not adverse to getting someone in to be your coach, to show you how you do it, that would always be the most effective way. Get them to make the decisions, get them to show you why, and even if it is for a shorter period of time, so that you are then able to carry on solo on your own, having taken advantage of all of that accountability and all of those decisions being made for you, then that's even better. Get them to build your plan, get them to show you what to do, get them to figure out what you enjoy. And once they've done their job as your coach, it becomes a lot easier for you to be able to sustain that moving forward. At Thrive Fit, our emphasis is not keep people here for the rest of their lives. It is give them the tools so that at some point, they might be able to do it solo if they wish. If that sounds like something you need right now, then you can book a free intro visit by going to our website, in the link in the description, filling out the form, and then from there, we will get in touch to show you exactly what that can look like for you, your lifestyle, and your goals.